Hello everybody, my name is Luke Marr and this is Hot Mode, and today on Hot Mode we are going to be reviewing and roasting some of the looks from Jeff Bezos and Lauren Sanchez, now Bezos' wedding in Venice. Very controversial. A lot of celebrities attended. Normally I feel like I don't talk about people's weddings. Usually it's royalty. The billionaire class feel like they're royalty. We're gonna discuss some of the looks, so let's start with the newlyweds themselves. Am I going to critique this wedding dress? Yeah, I am. Normally, when we do like Say Yes to the Dress, I don't do that because people's wedding dress and I'm happy for them. But what I'll say is like if you do get the cover of Vogue in your wedding dress, now you put yourself up for criticism. So she's wearing Dolce & Gabbana. It's their Alta Moda label, which is their version of haute couture. It's a form-fitting white gown in a mermaid cut with lots of lace. And I don't mind the dress. I know people were like, I hate the dress. It's so tacky. It's so trashy. I don't think it's as tacky and trashy as everybody was saying. It's not my favorite dress whatsoever, but I didn't really get like how ghastly this is. The buttons down the front, I didn't really enjoy. I think that they cut you in half. Like, why would you slice yourself down the front like that with the buttons? In the back, totally beautiful, completely understand. But from the front, I don't really understand that choice. I also don't love the lace, and normally I kind of like a lace, but I just think the lace is a little blah. I think that if we look up the collar, it just sort of dense, and I would think that for a brand like Dolce & Gabbana, I'm sure that this is all hand done, handmade, so shout out to the divas that did this, but it just doesn't feel really beautiful. It feels a little manufactured, I think. It's just something about it doesn't really read as intricate as I would expect it to be for one of, the richest people in the world. And so I think that's what we're also holding people to at this point is like richest people in the world, expectations. Besides that, I think the dress is okay. I think it's fine. I would go as far as to say, besides the buttons and the lace, the silhouette is nice. And Jeff, I don't know who Jeff's wearing. I think he's wearing Dolce & Gabbana as well. He looks fine. He looks like a man getting married. He knows it's not really, like, it's about him, but it's not really about him. It's about her, so he's doing the suiting thing. I also don't really think that, like, he's a fashion girly, so not really expecting much, but she wore the Schiaparelli haute couture gown, or dress, sorry, right off of the runway. I don't mind this idea of a really nipped in waist with a sort of neckline overlay that helps to emphasize the nipped in perspective of the waist. I think a lot about a beautiful Chanel collection. I believe it was haute couture. Might have been fall 2015, 2016. Might have been spring 2015. Everybody was wearing sneakers and they did these really beautiful wasp-waisted styles, but there would be an overlay of tweed fabric and it really helped to sort of emphasize that. I think what my issue here is on her, I think it just looks a little off. I think on the runway, you're more kind of fantasy, model, super tall. I don't think that she's as tall. And so I think that the size of the overlay, it doesn't feel as dramatic. I almost wish it was a little bit longer. I think I'm seeing too much sort of rib area. I do think that the handmade elements, the concept of it is really beautiful. I mean, the waist in this gold metallic fabric or thread is luscious. I think that the embellishments and embroideries also really, really beautiful. It also like doesn't really help that we're seeing the images while everybody's getting on boats, and I know that they're in Venice, so like I get it, but also if we got to talk about it, I need full look. I need to see head to toe. It really helps me judge. I can't be doing this thing out of the boat. It's a little annoying to me. And the last Lauren and Jeff look we'll talk about is this Atelier Versace gown that Lauren is wearing. I assume Jeff is wearing Versace too. I don't know. It's a black suit, not really interesting, not really memorable. Her waist is tiny. I'm seeing it here. I feel like the other dress it's meant to emphasize that. Like this is, she must have been training. I understand that it's meant to be this sort of metallic mosaic. I don't know if I love the root sort of bodycon bandage dressy kind of vibe. Then the gathering pours out of it. And see, like when you look at the dress on her actual body, that bodycon part, it's moving horizontally, whereas the gathering is obviously moving vertically, and I feel like that always just looks off and odd, and it looks like they're two different dresses or two different pieces, and they don't really corroborate well. So I wish that it had been a full something. I wish that maybe the dresses kept going, but this feels like I bought a bandage dress and we added extra long skirt. So yeah, not sliving, but her waist trained. I'll be honest, in general, with the Lauren Sanchez Bezos thing, I was kind of expecting better, a little bit more chic couture, and I didn't really get it. And I think that's my big issue here. Spend the $50 million on the wedding. Not for me, but whatever. People are going to do what they're going to do. I don't like a lot of things. I hate fireworks, but people love fireworks. I don't get it, but whatever. People are going to do what they're going to do. But if you're going to do the fireworks, do them well. Make sure they're chic. Make sure they're excellent. Make sure they're curated. The clothes just didn't hit. If I'm going to feel like, oh, I spent $50 million on this thing, I didn't feel like, oh, it was worth it clothing-wise. I wasn't there at the festivities, so I don't know what happened. But it didn't hit at all. But yet here I am doing this video. So now we can talk about all the people that attended. If you're disappointed in the people that attended, completely understand that. Kim Kardashian, she wore this python form-fitted dress. Am I shocked? No. Do I think it's cute? It's fine. I don't hate it. I don't love it. It's just a dress. That's what she does lately. It's just a dress. She just wears a dress, and okay. Same thing with this vintage Versace style that she wore. An Oroton, which is essentially like the metal chain work that goes throughout. I think the brown is nice. I do, actually. And I think that the semi-crystal sort of side panels that are scalloped, and that's why it looks like the skirt or the sides of the dress are different than the front and the back. I thought that was interesting, but again, not gagging, not sliving. I also don't really do that for Kim. Usually I don't really think she's a fashion girl. Sorry, hot take, I don't really care. But the last look that she wore is this Dilara Findikoglu look, which I love Dilara. I think she's great. I am very intrigued by her work at all times. It's obviously this destroyed, deconstructed, frayed, messed up, sort of corseted dress that has a sort of stocking attached with a little garter belt, and then you have stole of mutinied beige fabric, and she looks a little song swept. It's a little Marie Antoinette on her way to the guillotine, maybe for some. Cute, nice Dilara, but again, I think with Kim, it's just, she never takes it there. She never really delivers anything besides hot body. That's great. Love that for everybody. It's just not for me. Next up, we have Kendall Jenner. I don't know who she's wearing, this black dress with this sort of scarf tied back. I do love the green jewels. I don't know if those are emeralds or not or whatever, but I actually think they look really lovely. It's just, I think green and black work well together. But the dress, it's there. Not really exciting again. Not really interesting. It's a wedding though, so like, to a degree, you're not really supposed to be super exciting and interesting, but for my wedding, if the girlies aren't dressing, it's gonna be like the Met Gala. I'm gonna be like, no, sorry, not allowed. Next up, we have Khloe Kardashian. She's wearing some Tamara Ralph. I think this is fine. Something about the dress actually does look a little, it's something about the sequins. They're square sequins. They look a little off to me. Like they look like they're flying off a little bit. But I actually think though, Khloe, she looks good. I think the pink works. Maybe the cups are a little small, but I actually think that's kind of like a Tamara Ralph thing, is that that silhouette of the bust and cup area, it's meant to be like that. I think it fits her very well. I think the feather cape train thing, fun, a little Venetian, a little drama, a little Italian. I think that the necklace actually works really perfectly with the dress. There's a lot of room there to let something dangle, so if your necklace hang low, let it wobble to the floor. Next up, we have Kylie Jenner. Now, Kylie's look was deemed somewhat controversial because of the color. I would say it's more of an ivory, maybe like a really, really, really light silver. I wouldn't say that it is white, but I definitely see what people were getting at. It's custom Dilara Findikoglu as well, and I actually do really like a Dilara. I love the fact that there is this cut in between where the bra and the corset begin. Like you can see it right on the under bust there. That to me is like the deconstruction, cutaway, fall away thing. We saw it earlier with Kim's look. I do love Dilara's aesthetic. I feel like it's very cool. I think the dress fits her well. How appropriate I would say it is to wear to a wedding. Wouldn't, but hey, not my clown, not my circ. It's nice. I think it's okay, but I understand also I personally would not wear such a color to a wedding. Now, we did have another look, and I don't know why Kylie is wearing this fringy top, even if it was for like the theme of the event being fringe top experience. Still, it's awful. It looks cheap and tacky. Yeah, I hate it. Next. I'm gonna be honest. We got Kris Jenner, and I think she's wearing vintage Valentino. It's this black gown with these beautiful white puff sleeves. She looks really lovely. I actually think that Valentino is the thing you'd want to wear to something of this nature. It has the Italian flair, but it's still kind of refined, still quite beautiful, still quite lady. It just has something to it. I think Chris actually looks really nice. When she changed into the feather robe coat thing, a little more where she lost me. Feels a little clownish. Next up, we have Leonardo DiCaprio. I think that suit fits him terribly. Kind of slim. I can see the shirt, and he's wearing a hat. I don't know. I don't get it. We then have Oprah and Gail. Oprah's dress is fine. I think it's fine. I think it's appropriate. I think it works. Gail's is fine looking too. Gathered, draped, ruched. It's existing. Again, Oprah's dress has like the similar thing where it's a horizontal on the bodice, and then as soon as you get to the skirt part, it's the vertical, and I understand that. But at least like with Oprah's, the way that it's gathered has a front sort of part that comes up a little bit to the belly button, and that so it brings you in a little bit more, and also like the bust area is also diagonal at least. So next up we have Orlando Bloom. Again, it's a man in a suit, but he's going to a wedding. So, like, fine, whatever. Next up, we have Queen Rania of Jordan. She's wearing Armani Privé. It's pretty Armani Privé dress. Not enough Armani Privé. At least somebody wore it. Happy about that. We then have Sydney Sweeney, who's wearing Elie Saab. I believe this is vintage. And what I'm also going to say is there were very few brands that dressed people, is what I want to say. Like, besides Dolce, that Schiaparelli look that Lauren wore was not, like, publicized. Whereas, like, if you look at most celebrities, they'll talk about that. Oh, we dressed so-and-so. It's client-facing. I think the same thing with Queen Rani of Jordan, client-facing Armani. Also, a lot of the celebrities, besides the Kardashians wearing Dilara, for the most part, are wearing vintage or things that looks like they might have bought. So I think that's also very important to understand from a POV, media, PR perspective. Not a lot of brands were dressing people, and I think because they understood that this was not going to be seen as a thing that people would enjoy from a publicity standpoint. And most of the brands that were worn, that were made for this event specifically, were things that more than likely would have been bought, or more than likely been made by brands that don't really care what the public thinks, if you think about it like that. Something to keep in mind here. We then have Tom Brady in all black. Even the tie is black, the shirt is black. Normally, I'm kind of into that, but with not black. I think black's the only color where it doesn't like unwork, but it definitely it doesn't look as good as like when you do full color monochrome look. A blue, a red, a pink, a green, a yellow, an orange, or persimmon. Great. Black, a little cater waiter. Next up we have Usher, and I think that there was like a pajama party section of the event. He does look good, actually. I do really like a smoking robe. And lastly, we have Vittoria Soretti. She looks really great in this dress. She really does. It's really interesting. It's really beautiful. Could have been worn so many other places. But I'm not going to do a best and worst. I'm not living, laughing, loving this wedding. I think from a fashion perspective, it's interesting to look at, to analyze, to see what people are wearing, who's being public about what people are wearing, who's not, how it works. It's the age-old and American perspective of looking at what rich people are wearing while they dalliance about. This is the Gilded Age Part 2, the remix. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed something. I'll see you guys in the next one, so TTYL.